Hello everyone and welcome to the 2024 Progressive Grand National Cross Country Racing Series right here on Racer TV. It's time for round number 4, the FMF Camp Coker Bullet. And speaking of bullets, how about this guy, Bryson Neal, perfect so far in the 2024 season, but the rest of the competition, Walker Fowler, Josh Merritt, Hunter Hart, Wyatt Wilkin, the list goes on and on, all eager to knock him off the top step and get a little taste of victory for themselves. How's it going to play out in the muddy conditions here in South Carolina? It's time to find out on Racer TV.
To go, GNCC Racing!
The GNCC Racing Nation makes its way to Society Hill, South Carolina for round number 4, the FMF Camp Coker Bullet, one of the favorites on the circuit for both riders and fans alike. Zach Herron here, happy to be calling the action. Look at this turnout that we have for round 4. It's been a great season so far, but when it comes to the ATVs, it's all been about one guy. We take a look at the specialized race recap from round number 3 in Georgia, and that man right there, Bryson Neal, getting the job done. But it wasn't easy. As you could see, did not get the best of starts. It was actually Wyatt Wilkin, one of the newer riders in the XC1 class. I believe this is only his second full year in XC1, getting the start and trying to make the most with it. He said this year is a proving year for him, really wants to get in the mix and fight for top 5s and podiums as well. Now, of course, you've got the multi-time champ Walker Fowler. Also, not quite the best of starts, was up towards the front side of the field, but not quite as far forward as he'd like to be. He continued to push his way through the slop of Georgia as well. As you can see, the mud was flying, fans were going crazy, and Bryson Neal was a man on a mission, picking his way through the field, sometimes getting a little sketchy with it, but hey, I guess that's what it takes to be a champion in this XC1 ATV class, because all of these guys are laying it all out there, weaving their ways through the Georgia forest and doing everything he could to keep that Phoenix Racing Yamaha wide open and afloat. As he makes his way around, you can see just how deep those ruts got by the end of the race. Riders really not being able to move around a ton, kind of had to funnel into the main line to make sure not only they made it to the finish, but their machine as well. Here it is, last corner and taking the checker flag. Bryson Neal keeps the streak going with Walker Fowler and Wyatt Wilkin getting his first XC1 podium. And we take a look not only at the results, but the points as well, as Bryson continues to stretch out that points lead.
Dude, this one's awesome, you know, because I feel like I've been the underdog coming into mud races. I've kind of been known for just the dry, and I've kind of been subpar on the mud races here lately, and I felt like I was the underdog coming in. And this one really feels great, because to get 3 wins to start the year and to get one in the mud like this means the world. This is awesome.
How about that? If anybody questions the heart or the passion that Bryson Neal has for it, that ought to show it. The guy is creating situations. I don't know who was calling him the underdog, but whoever it was, I think he proved his point. As now we go to the XC1 Pro start here in South Carolina. Who's it going to be? And look at that, folks. We said the guy needed to improve on one thing. That was the starts, and Bryson Neal gets the whole shot. This could be bad news for the rest of the field. Looks like that might have been Josh Merritt and Hunter Hart sitting 2 and 3. Where is Walker Fowler? Where is Wyatt Wilkin? How are things going to shake out? Look at this. Bryson Neal already starting to open up a gap. Hold on to it now, Bryson. 4 wheels supposed to be on the ground. Nonetheless, he shakes it off and starts charging forward as he's got Hunter Hart hot on his heels. There is Josh Merritt in 3rd. We drop back. Let's see who's rounding out your top 5. Looks like that might have been Borich, maybe John Glada Jr. right there rounding out top 5. I believe that was Wilkin just outside. Where is Walker Fowler? There he is towards the backside of the field. That might have been 7th or 8th place. So Walker Fowler got his work cut out for him. As now we take a look at the XC2 Pro-Am start riders like Dylan Walraven, Grayson Eller, Alex Elioff, Alex Tiemann, and the rest of the field go barreling into turn number 1. Whoa, watch out now, a little bumping and grinding. Grown man moves, as Mikey Waynes likes to say, and that is going to be Braxton Gross grabbing the whole shot. We take a look at the Yamaha Racing live drone, and man, look at that. Braxton already opening up quite a gap as they head off into the woods. So Braxton Gross trying to make it difficult on the rest of that XC2 field. We hop back to the front of the XC1 pack, and all by himself, there is the number 1 of Bryson Neal trying to continue the perfect season. Here at round 4, we check back, it was Hunter Hart. Now it looks like it is the number 5 of Josh Merritt taking over that number 2 spot, and Merritt really starting to come into his own here in 2024. He's got the speed, he's got the fitness as well, and now he's got that missing element, the confidence and the belief that he can be on the podium each and every round. So could be a dark horse pick for a little spoiler is the number 5 of Josh Merritt, and look at the gap these guys have already opened up as we just now catch a glimpse of those riders behind him. Looks like Fowler is in this mix as well. So Fowler has already made several passes. Looks like that might have been Wilkin just in front of him. There is McGill behind him. Wow, what a start to this Camp Coker Bullet. Bryson Neal, the Bidwell Bullet, getting the whole shot. Probably not what the rest of the field wanted to see. How's it going to play out? We'll be right back on Racer TV.
Progressive GNCC Racing is brought to you by Progressive. Progressive could save you hundreds of dollars on your automobile and motorcycle insurance. Specialized E-Turbo bicycles. It's you, only faster. Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com. Get ready.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to round number 4, the FMF Camp Coker Bullet. And this guy, the Bidwell Bullet, Bryson Neal, continues to lead the way and stretch out the gap on the rest of the field. But got to give credit where credit is due. Josh Merritt should be popping on your screen any second now, holds down the second place spot, and he is walking away from everybody else just as much as Bryson is. The guy has really picked up the pace and has made the most of opportunities with good starts. We drop back. We're not sure who's in that third place spot. We think it might be maybe Wilkin, maybe McGill. We saw Walker Fowler not get the start that he needs. So where is he going to be and how quickly can he get towards the front of the field as well? We continue to wait. And look at that, folks. Just as I say it, Walker Fowler has made the pass and gotten around for third place. So Walker is in the mix and trying to chase down Josh Merritt for that second place spot. There you see Stephen Harrell having a great run in his first full year of the XC1 class. Bryson just aggressive. I don't really know any other way to say it. Manhandling that Phoenix Racing Yamaha as he carves his way through the trees up and over the roots. Merritt doing a great job, but just not quite able to match the pace of Neal so far in this race. And how about this, folks? I knew the Gators liked the sand, but Adam McGill feeling feisty and making the pass around Walker Fowler. Not sure if there was a mistake involved with that, or maybe the Gator just reached up and did a death roll on him to grab that number 3 spot. We'll see if he can hang on for his first podium of the 2024 season. There goes Neal, making sure our camera operators are nice and covered in this South Carolina sand. Nobody gets to escape it here at Camp Coker, folks. And Merritt doing a great job as well. Really seems to be confident and is continuing to try to chase down Bryson Neal. But the battle is on for the final podium spot. Adam McGill makes the pass and has made it stick. Walker Fowler going to have to get creative. 2 vets of this XC1 field, so that's going to be an exciting one to watch. As we check back in with your leader, moving the body around, just climbing all over that machine. Merritt, there you see, got the elbows up. And once again, just really looking clean, really coming into his own. And how about this? Got to give props to the Gator. He has stretched it back out over Walker Fowler. So maybe Fowler trying to catch a breath, going to try to remount a charge towards the end of this thing. But right now, Bryson Neal, it's almost hard to tell when he's trying to take a break, when he's on a sprint, because he is going so fast for the entire 2 hours. And especially considering he got that whole shot, that is not what the rest of the field wants to see. So we'll see if Bryson's able to keep that pace up and bring this thing all the way home. There it is. Walker Fowler does make the move around Adam McGill. So big props to McGill, still putting up the fight and still close enough to be able to capitalize on a mistake from Fowler. So this could be far from over. There you see the ruts, certainly not anything compared to what we saw out at the General. Much better conditions. You can actually see the blue sky overhead. But somehow, no matter the conditions, the results haven't changed at the front of the XC1 field. Bryson Neal just seems to be able to put it together and make the most of it so far in 2024. Fowler carefully picking his way through, gets that power to the ground, and is starting to stretch out over Adam McGill. Lots of different obstacles. The sandy texture, probably the most synonymous thing with the Camp Coker Bullet, but you've also got some of these roots. You do have some rocks that'll sneak up, especially as the ruts start to get deeper and deeper. We've seen several of those kind of pop up. Not quite as big of a deal for the ATVs, but nonetheless, got to keep you on your toes. Fowler still holds on to that number 3 spot, but McGill not letting him run away with it so far. He is still only a couple of bike lengths back, and one get off from Fowler, whether it's a lap rider or whether it's a mistake on his part, and the Gator will be right there ready to chomp, so we better watch out. This guy got a lot of peace. Walker Fowler's fishing for gators. Bryson Neal's on a nice calm Sunday cruise, if you will. Saturday cruise, I suppose, for the ATVs. Josh Merritt caught somewhere in the middle, really not under any immediate pressure from Fowler at the moment. Now, Fowler definitely has cut that gap down since the last time we saw it, but Merritt still got a little room to play with. So let's see if Merritt's able to wick it back up. We take a look. Looks like that might be Hart. Oh, and tough luck for Hunter Hart. Really came into the 2024 season with some super high expectations, had a great year last year, and man, looks like he is out of this one. So tough break for Double H. We hope to see him back out in just a few weeks, but back on track. There goes Neal, and look at this, folks. Walker Fowler has clicked the nitrous, and he is trying to get up to and get around the number 5 of Josh Merritt. So if Josh wasn't aware that he was back there, he can probably start to hear him now in some of these sections where they kind of loop back around. He might even catch a glimpse of Fowler, and that could do a lot of things. That could cause Merritt to pick the pace back up, but it also could cause him to tighten up, maybe get a little arm pump, cause the heart rate to jump up as well. Like we said, Merritt really kind of coming into his own as far as fighting for the podium. We take a look at the Yamaha Racing live drone. This might be the fight for the pass. You can see Walker Fowler trying to square off some of these corners, keep the momentum high. And look at that, just the late braking. He closes up about another bike length or so on Josh Merritt. Merritt doing a great job. Oh, and there was the mistake. They're side by side, headed into the woods, and Walker Fowler gonna make the pass. So now it is Fowler in the second place spot. Josh Merritt shuffles back to third. This guy has no clue what's going on. He's too busy out front doing his thing. There you see Fowler. And that's a statement to Walker Fowler right there. He makes the pass and almost immediately starts to open up a little bit of a gap. Merritt tries to sink the hooks into the back of Fowler because behind him, Mr. Steady right now, Adam McGill, still just on the outside looking in. He's not quite close enough to be able to make a move, try to make a pass. But like I said, any mistakes, and if you know GNCC Racing, mistakes are common and almost impossible to avoid. He could be right there knocking on the door of a podium, trying to get around Josh Merritt. There we see Fowler. Merritt closes it back up just a little bit from that last camera shot, and there is Adam McGill. So your top 4 all roughly evenly spaced. Neal's got a little bit more of a gap, but second, third, and fourth, honestly, right there. Anybody's guess how the backside of the podium is going to shake up, and let's not give anything away yet. Plenty of time for somebody to try to catch up to and get around the number 1 of Bryson Neal. We see your riders making their way through Pro Row and headed back through the woods. Get a great overhead shot from our Yamaha Racing live drone. One of our lap riders being very courteous, making sure to get out of the way. And I know these top riders are extremely appreciative of that. They do their best to try to keep the tempers cool and not have too many choice words for the lappers, but when they do a great job, it definitely makes a difference. There you see Merritt getting through. Looks like Fowler makes his way around some lap traffic as well. Now we wait. Looks like McGill may be dropping back just a little bit. He's still in that 4th place spot and doesn't look like he has any immediate pressure behind him. So all Adam McGill needs to focus on is forward and trying to catch up to that final podium spot. But as far as the top spot of the podium goes, this guy is going to make it hard on everyone else. You can see him bouncing around, hanging on like a bucking bronco. That Phoenix Racing Yamaha doing the best it can to try to soak up what is an incredibly rough course and rather high speed as well. You can see just how fast these guys are going through. All of a sudden they get a big buck from the front end or from the back end, almost shoots him over the front of the ATV. So these guys hanging on for dear life as they continue to charge after the number 1 of Bryson Neal. There we saw Walker Fowler go through. Here comes Adam McGill, doing a great job representing the Honda riders is Adam McGill. And Bryson Neal picks his way through. There you see a couple of riders say, I'm just going to hang out and watch how you do it. Maybe I can pick up a couple of things. No harm, no foul there. And be on the lookout for this. Looks like Josh Merritt has made the pass back around. I'm not sure if I missed that or what, but I said Merritt's got some fight in him. He feels like he belongs on this XC1 podium. And he said, hey, I don't care how many championships you've run. This is my race as much as it is yours. It looks like it might have been short-lived, but Merritt, wow, I like to see that. A good fight out of the number 5, and he's still only a couple of bike lengths back from Walker Fowler. So Walker doing a great job, able to get back around Josh Merritt. Not sure if there was maybe a mistake, maybe some pit strategy going on as well, but Merritt gets a taste of second place once again, and going to try to hang on for third at the very least, but far from over, as we see Fowler continuing to stretch it out just a little bit, almost a bike length at a time every time we check back in with them. But I think if Merritt can keep him in his sights, maybe pick up on some lines, maybe figure out exactly what it is that Fowler's doing just a little bit better, he can try to close that gap, stop Fowler from pulling away, and maybe even reel back in. Now, look at this. Looks like, oh yeah, a little shout out to the camera guys, a little shake of the head from Walker Fowler. One of the fan favorites out there, just an all-around good guy, having a good time. You could hear some of the frustration that he's had so far in 2024 trying to beat Bryson Neal, but that's a championship mentality, and that's a champion mentality right there from Walker Fowler. Somebody like Josh Merritt, don't get me wrong, Josh wants to win as much as the next guy, but he's just happy to be on the podium at some of these rounds. But this guy, it's checkers or records. He wants the number 1 and is trying to get it done here at the Camp Coker Bowl.
Progressive GNCC Racing is brought to you by Progressive. Progressive could save you hundreds of dollars on your automobile and motorcycle insurance. Specialized e-turbo bicycles. It's you, only faster. Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com. Get ready.
Hello everyone, we're here in South Carolina, round 4, the FMF Camp Coker Bullet. And it's the Bidwell Bullet right now trying to bring it home. The white flag is out, and this is how you do it, folks. Grab the whole shot and set sail. Wait until you see Ricky Towery waving that checker flag. Bryson Neal, so far a flawless race. There is Walker Fowler. Got to give props to him. A terrible start. We saw him as far back as, I believe, 7th or 8th at one point. Seemed like just a couple of camera shots later, he had worked his way into the number 3 spot and made his way around this guy, Josh Merritt, who also deserves some props and praise as he has put the fight on, made his way back around Fowler at one point and is holding strong to that final podium spot at the moment. But Bryson Neal just has seemed to be a gear ahead. He's got something figured out. Maybe it's the confidence. The program seems to just be complete, and he does not seem to show up on race day with a whole lot of stress. Knows what he needs to do, knows he's capable of doing it, and executes. Walker Fowler kind of been scratching his head looking for a way to catch up to and get around the number 1, not only in each race, but in the series as well. And then Josh Merritt going from a guy that could get a podium to a podium guy consistently throughout the season. So Merritt living up to his expectations right now, holding down that number 3 spot. As there is Bryson Neal on screen making his way around the Yamaha Racing live drone, getting us some great shots. As you can see them weaving their way through the South Carolina sand. The ruts have started to get chewed up, but nonetheless, Bryson Neal, throw whatever you want at him, he still comes out on top. Bryson Neal handing out some hugs and high fives. Let's catch up with your winner.
Second going to the woods, third going to the woods. Whole shot today, so we're getting better. Dan at DASA, they got those webcams, that Wiseco piston, that DASA head. Everything's firing all cylinders, so super happy to have them and be able to showcase this power and get this thing to the whole shot and lead this thing wire to wire today. It was awesome.
Well, it may not have been the start that he wanted, but he was able to work all the way back to second place. Let's catch up with Walker Fowler.
I just don't even feel like I deserved second place. I rode that poorly. My machine was that poor. apparently everyone else felt the same way. So, like, we have so much soul searching to do right now. The whole class, man. That #1 machine's tough, and yeah, my goal is to have fun. And honestly, the last lap there was so much chaos, and you just had to shake your head and be like, well, I went from having no fun to like, this is a joke. So at this point, I'll just bring it home and see what's happening. There was just so much chaos.
Some raw emotion from the multi-time champ. I told you guys, he wants that #1 spot. We take a look at the Rocky Mountain ATV-MC results. Walker Fowler second, and Josh Merritt once again finds himself on the podium.
Oh man, that was a rough one. My hands are destroyed. I was sick coming into this weekend, and I'm just glad to get up on this podium, man. It was a long race. It felt like it took forever, but you know, we got it done. And now we got a 3-week break, getting out of here to heal up and get back to 100%.
So another solid podium finish for Josh Merritt. Adam McGill and Wyatt Wilkin round out your top 5 with Hunter Hart, Austin Abney, Chris Borich, Stephen Harrell, and John Glotta Jr. rounding out your top 10. Like Josh said, 3 weeks until our next round. We take a look at the Specialized race recap. He said he wanted to doctor in those starts and get a whole shot. Bryson Neal was able to do just that. And that was pretty much all she wrote for the front of the XC1 field. He got out front, got a little bit of pressure early from Hunter Hart and Josh Merritt. Hunter with a great start to the race, but unfortunately having to retire early. Hope to see Hunter back in action in just a few weeks. Josh Merritt takes advantage and moves into the #2 spot where he was able to maintain until Walker Fowler, who you can see just now starting to make his way past the camera. I believe that was 8th place. He had to set sail and get to work, making a lot of passes and hunting down Josh Merritt. There you see he's moved into the #3 spot. He brought the Gator along with him. Great run for Adam McGill, finishing 4th on the day. But here's the pass. Merritt goes a little bit wide. Walker slides up the inside and makes the pass for 2nd place. Bryson Neal not having to worry about anybody going inside or outside of him, able to pick the lines that he wants. Walker gets into that 2nd place spot. Merritt looking mighty comfortable in 3rd. Didn't get too much fight from Adam McGill. And there it is. Bryson Neal takes the checker flag and keeps the perfect season alive here at the FMF Camp Coker Bullet. Make sure you guys are headed over to GNCCRacing.com for all of the updates and action for all things GNCC. And please don't forget to like and subscribe Racer TV on YouTube so we can continue to bring you the best GNCC racing action around.